Hello, 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 my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising Mercury signs. Welcome to your Mercury Retrograde reading. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Leo rising. So I'm right in there with you on this one. Let's get down to business, shall we? If you're new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. Getting closer and closer every day to those 1,000 subscribers so I can do super live chat and a lot of other cool stuff, including Drunk Tarot, my own invention, my own little ditty. There's a video in the description box below clarifying what Drunk Tarot is. It's my favorite video of 2019, I'll tell you that much, and not something I do that often. So go check it out, like and subscribe. Help me reach my YouTube goals, will you, my Leos, right? My brother, sister, Leos. I really look like one, but I'm not. I'm a Virgo, Pisces moon, Leo rising. There you have it. Oh, and Mercury and Libra, not that you care. Now, as far as this reading goes, please do keep in mind that this is a general read. Not going to suit everybody every single time, which is why I'm doing this round Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury signs, so you can get percentages of clarity from the 4 different signs, depending, of course, what you have where, so to speak. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and go check your other signs, because I'm fun. That's why I keep them fun and entertaining, so that you can get information and perhaps some education along the way, some clarity, some guidance on the path. Cool, cool. As far as this reading goes, yes, this is a Mercury retrograde read, but it's not your usual. It's really focusing on how this Mercury retrograde is working for you rather than happening to you. Because I've been doing this a very long time. I mean, I've been teaching spiritual. I've been teaching witchcraft forever, it feels like, and different aspects of, you know, beginner's astrology and stuff. People freak out over Mercury retrograde, but I think that's part of it, right? It's an illusion. The planet doesn't actually go backwards. So just look what we do to ourselves mentally once we understand what a retrograde is, let alone a Mercury retrograde. It becomes this odd scapegoat, which I think snowballs into much more catastrophe than necessary at times, right? So yeah, it's sure, symbolically brilliant time to like go over, retrace your steps, think things over, look them over, reconsider, you know, retreat, right? Retreat to higher ground, see from a higher place, see the larger picture. And that's what these readings are for. It's not to tell you what to look out for, you know, watch out, watch out, watch out. Yeah, of course, back your stuff up. You should be backing up your stuff anyway to the cloud or what have you. But it's a question of how do you want to play Hermes' game? There he is, my Hermes. How do you want to play his game? He's a trickster. It's all for our well-being, but for the development of our soul, the personality and the ego usually fucking hate it. So it's all about how do you want to, what's the narrative you're taking with you as you go through it, right? Because that's going to determine your mental, emotional balance on the whole thing. And it's a mental thing. It's an air planet, right, Mercury? And oddly enough, we're looking at, it begins its retrograde on the 16th of February, and goes direct on the 9th of March, which is also full moon, but it's also full moon in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Not sure what that means, but it feels like something's going to manifest because it's ending in that Earth full moon. You know what I mean? Like a culmination of some kind. I have no idea. But maybe we'll get a little looksy-dooksy here. Cool, cool. I think you'll really like the spread that we're doing. We're doing the element spread, fire, earth, air, water, spirit. We're going to use Daughters of the Moon Tarot to lay down the first layer of 5 cards from the voices of my gods and my goddesses. The second layer will be using the Healing with the Angels Oracle Doreen Virtue, the voices of the angels, to clarify. So that'll give us 10 cards. Then we're going to pull card number 11, Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, from the voice of the masters to give us a keynote, something to focus on. The higher selves of all involved, mine included, because I'm Leo rising, will be communicating through the Whispers of Love Oracle, which I adore and are often very direct, like the higher self can be sometimes. And then our last deck, we will get 1 card from the Healing Mantra deck, Matt Kahn, to give us a mantra to get us through the retro. Cool. 13 cards in total. Thought that was kind of cool. Once they laid it all out, I was like, oh, there were 13 cards. They're like, duh. I was like, okay, I'll do it then. This shouldn't take too long. They're running about 40 minutes. Cool. So last thing, please remember to breathe. I always say that, but this time I've been implementing element breathing. The 4 elements each has their own breathing pattern because there's only 4 ways to get oxygen in and out of the body the normal respiratory way, right? So for water, it's in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, for earth, it's in through the nose, out through the nose. For air, it's in through the mouth, out through the mouth. So for fire, think dragon breath. It's in through the mouth, out through the nose. Or you're just going to smog them. Just give them that fire right through the nostrils. Fire in the holes! Right? So I'm going to do my best to partner with my breath, to be with my breath throughout the reading, so I slow it the fuck down a little bit when energy gets high, but also that I stay here and now in the still point where the divine resides. I can't not call it now. I said it once in a reading last round, the last ones I did, Path of True Love. I said it's like ringing a silent bell. There's the divine. That's where my readings are coming from. That's where the information, the guidance, the grace is coming from. So if you're doing the same thing on your end, you're tuning to the same present moment, even though we are separated by time and space, therefore connecting to the same divine within. Cool? Let's do this. Breathe. Still point. Oh, my gods, my goddesses, please, I feel you really loud and clear. Last reading of the day. Here we go. Please, element spread, top 5 cards for this Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs for this Mercury retrograde, February 2020 to March 2020. Please, fire. What is it that we desire that we need to reevaluate? Right? May have to look at the what and the why of what we desire this Mercury retrograde. What about the element of earth that we can reevaluate what we have, right? To reassign, to reassess where it is what we have to help us get what we want, to reconsider what's going on in our element of air, what we think, our belief systems, which are changing so rapidly. It's like painful how fast we have to let go of old belief systems and adapt to the new. So please, then emotionally, our element of water, what is it we need to re-heal, re-embrace, re-love, re-accept within our emotional fields, most likely for this Mercury retrograde, and of course for our power of spirit. What is the point of view? What is the lens that we are best served seeing through for this Mercury retrograde, for this Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign, for Mercury retrograde, February, March 2020. Maiden, Mother, Crone. That was a lot of words, but they keep me shuffling until I get the click. Cards are loaded. Let's dive in. First card down, like I said, fire. We need to reevaluate, retrograde, look at what it is we desire, if not the what, perhaps the why. And what we've got here is the moon. So what we want is a deeper intuitive connection, a deeper feeling, a deeper emotion. This is major arcana. This is not passing, oh, I like that, I want to feel that way. This is more of a sense of a connection with the soul. The intuition is, yes, the voice of the soul, but yet there are different levels of intuition. There's drug dealer intuition, right? They know who the narc is, right? They're not praying necessarily, oh, please, no narcs, no whammies, stop, right? But there is something here about the intuitive path of knowing oneself down here, right? Like in here. If you think of emotions and then feeling, right? The seat of the soul, they say, is the second chakra, so it's down here. Yes, the kingdom of heaven is in the heart. That's where the divine love flows. But that soul, right? Like soul music, it's very in the hips, very in those Yeah, like that, in the lower chakras, right? So that flow, that ebb and flow of the moon, that gravitational pull, we're needing clarity about that because certainly the card of the moon can indicate emotional or intuitive confusion. So something we want to reevaluate, relook at there in terms of what we want. What we have, the element of earth to help us get what we want. We've got the card of oppression. Now, by the way, this is the card of the devil. There are 2 devil cards in this deck, the coyote woman and then oppression. This is about things holding us back, but things that we might be able to extricate ourselves from if we can get over the fear of doing so, hence the devil card. Now, I will say, in terms of getting clear intuition, fear is a great blocker for intuition. It's sort of like this can be a very faint signal if there's a lot of static on the channel, right? If there's a lot of fear. Like a lot of people think intuition is going to get them what they want. No, it gets you what your soul needs. It moves you forward on the spiritual path. Your ego is going to resist that like crazy because it knows it's going to be absorbed and transformed if you do that. So what are the addictions? What are the fears? What are the blockages? What are the attachments? What are the, you name it. What I love about this card is that there's a woman buried under stones. That's not what I love, but that the stones have people's faces on them. So how much of this is taking on other people's opinions, other people's beliefs, other people's reasonings, other people's limitations as our own? And I'm also hearing there could be a little bit of martyrdom in there too. See, look what you did to me, when you could pull some rocks off yourself and walk away, because there are portals out of that fiery scene. But what you may not be able to see here is there is a coyote howling right in the center of it all. So, you know, there's some serious trickster energy going on here, and that's why the other version of this card, I should say the other half of the devil card in this deck, is the coyote. Well, coyote woman. Cool. So look, what else would be getting in the way, right? But an oppression of some kind, perhaps a mental, emotional oppression, or a societal one. Could be anything, really. Remember, we got angel cards going down on top of these. Let's look in the mental field. What's going on in the element of air? Third major arcana card, the Lovers, a decision. Now look, the Lovers, everybody wants it to be about romance. We got enough cards going to hit the table today. Maybe it will show itself that way. But don't immediately jump to the Lovers card always being about sex, romance, and marriage. It's not. Well, what those things have in common is they can often be life-changing decisions. Here we've got the head and the heart, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, swimming underwater. The goddess of the card is Aphrodite. How do we bring those into unity? How do we bring those into balance, into congruence, where the head and the heart are saying yes to the same thing, so that the throat, the willpower, can make a wise, loving, powerful decision. That's the T on that one. So it's in the mind for us, this Mercury retrograde. We are going to be thinking about it. Sure, it could be about a relationship. It could be about somebody coming back without fail. Mercury retrograde for me for the past couple of years, 3 times a year, has been ex-boyfriend flash flood, except for once where it brought me my past life son, Anthony, my son from another life. He just kept, hi, oh, you're my past life son, and I was his past life mama, and just like in that life and this life, I have no idea who the father is. Let's look at the emotion. What's the element of water here? I know I don't give you time to catch up. Oh, but lovely. Literally, the card of resolution. I love this. The Ten of Blades. I know, so much prettier than Rider-Waite being stabbed in the back 10 times with swords, right? And face down in the mud. No, this is the passing of the truth stick, right? The passing of the rattle, the talking stick. Only those who hold the talking stick or the rattle can talk. Everybody has to listen to them. So think of that, of all of the different pieces of information. I love this card. I call it all the pieces of the puzzle are on the table. They may not all be arranged exactly perfectly, but you've got all the data, all the information. Ten of Blades, fulfillment of the element of air. So there may be some deep emotional understanding that took a while to be put together during this Mercury retrograde, but there was definitely a decision to do so, right? There's definitely a decision that brings some emotional clarity, which is wonderful considering that's sort of what you want, right? You want to feel it. Now, if this is relationship-based and there are fears involved, well, when aren't there? you got to kind of be okay with that. The child in our heart gets terrified that we're going to be abused, neglected, codependent upon, or there's going to be loss. Someone's going to die, right? Divorce, death, or distance. Of course there are fears there. Give that child some love. That part of you that's afraid of whatever's coming needs more love, not less. Go ask Matt Kahn, the one who did the, the healing mantra deck. He'll tell you. He's pretty amazing. So with that thing of really wanting that clarity of emotion, to feel it. No, I got to feel it. I don't know yet. I want to feel it. I want to feel it. I want that clarity. I'm a little cloudy. Look, the truth is that until we make certain decisions, the fear is not going to do anything but keep us from making decisions. Make the decision. You can always decide yet again, which is from Course in Miracles. Decide yet again. Holy Spirit, decide for God for me. Decide yet again, right? But you'll find that sometimes it's just a matter of making that decision and moving up to the next level. That once you make the decision, you're no longer afraid, right? So it's about the transition there. And with this lovely, lovely, I mean, it may not be a fun emotion, this resolution that comes with this. Remember, we got more cards coming. But certainly one where there's a full circle, a resolution of perhaps this is the aha, not a ooh, but an ah, right? Aha, oh, that's why I am feeling what I'm feeling. That's what this fear is about. And it may have nothing to do with the current situation. Retrogrades often bring up things from what? The past. So they can be resolved during a retrograde. Yeah? Spirit, the lens, best lens that we can see all this through during this retrograde. Two of Pentacles, the Bull Leapers, balance, juggling, really seriously, that no major heavy-duty Judy decisions are necessary right now, right? Just see it through the lens. All right, we're going to look at it this way, we're going to look at it this way. We're going to hear this side and we're going to hear this side. We're going to left foot, then we're going to right foot. We're going to right brain, then we're going to left brain. That we're really going to bring ourselves into balance, that it's all about balance. We have to make the decision to be mentally balanced about this, to balance it with what? The intuition. If you like, you could say the Lover's card is totally about balancing the divine masculine sacred mind with the divine feminine sacred heart. Divine intellect, third eye power with heart chakra, flame, true love vibe, right? But where we are right now, there's some oppression. Now, if that oppression is money, that's understandable. If that oppression is something more physical, right, that we have to sort of balance that stuff out as we go. This is the Two of Pentacles, not the Two of Swords, the Two of Wands, or the Two of Cups. This is about physical balance, physical stability, making sure that if you're going to take the bull by the horns, which is what these amazing women are doing, they're running towards the bull, grabbing them by the horns and flipping over them. Acrobatic skill does take practice and takes courage and takes bravery, precision, balance. Cool. So that's I think a major way to go through this, considering it's only, I think it's 3 weeks and 1 day, this Mercury retrograde from beginning to end. So hang in there. Very, very interesting. Let's look at what the angels have to say for us, shall we? A nice deep breath, again, in through the mouth, out through the nose, if you will. You could blow boogers on someone, I understand. You may not want to. It's an uncomfortable breath for me just because I'm not used to doing it. It does make me focus, though. Still point. My angels, there you are. Ding. My angels, please, top 5 cards, element spread for this Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign during this Mercury retrograde, February 2020 to March 2020. Please, fire, earth, air, water, spirit, please clarify what the gods have brought to the table already, my angels, for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs. This Mercury retrograde, February to March 2020. Let's rock and roll. This is what we want. Deeper intuition. We want to feel it. We want to know it, but we want to know it in our bones, in our blood, in our gut, right? Well, then the angels say there that what we want there is that we need to be a little bit more friendly with this, or that this is more about a friendship, right? To feel out, is there a friendship here, or there's an intuitive shift that we need more clarity about a friendship. Now, to clarify for those of you where that is not the relational structure that you're dealing with, and this is about being friendly with yourself and friendly with your intuition, which is to say, learning curve. What if I've never gotten it wrong? What if I've never really made a mistake? Maybe this has all been my higher self and my soul ferrying me through, and that every mistake was perfectly choreographed, and I made the mistake perfectly so that I could learn to rely more upon how things feel, the intuitive pull of my soul and the honor of my spirit. To be more emotionally friendly with yourself, to not just because there's a shift in tides all of a sudden stop being kind to yourself. And I find that kind of kindness to self translates itself naturally into compassion and kindness with others, right? It's because it starts at home, so to speak. You know, keeping in mind, particularly because if you're feeling afraid, if you're feeling oppressed, if you're feeling held back. Now again, this could be about, you know, any kind of chemical addiction, not just drugs or alcohol. It could be sugar. It could be about workaholism. It could be from working out. I mean, don't kid yourself. You get plenty of different chemicals moving through your bloodstream when you're working out or focused at work. Anything to avoid the pain and the fear, right? So there might be some retrograde work really to look at what you want and why you want, but that why, not why you're medicating, but what's the fear? What is it that you are really afraid of? When better than a retrograde to really go deeper into that stuff, even if that pertains to shadow work, really embracing the shadow, feeling the emotions, which honestly, you got this card of resolution and understanding that that might be a good thing to do, but make sure you know what you're doing and get help if necessary. Embracing the shadow is not easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. No. This is about perhaps really getting down, feeling the fear, and not doing it anyway, but kind of getting that the decisions that need to be made here are being oppressed by fear. So what do the angels have to say about that? Study. You need to study it. You need to kind of go, okay, well, what am I really afraid of? Now, some of you might know, point blank, I am afraid of this happening. And then go deeper and say, and why am I afraid of that? And then why am I afraid of that? And why am I afraid of that? Granted, it is a mental process, but that is a retrograde. Go deeper. Go deeper. Look at it deeper. Look at it another way. Look at it another way. Look at it another way. Right, my Leos? So that you can really study what is it that I'm really afraid of. Because usually fear is an intuitive thing, saying that a change is coming and there's a possibility of loss. That's what we're afraid of, is loss. But without loss, there's no gain, right? There's no renewal without erosion. So sometimes we find ourselves afraid of something that's coming, and then it's kind of what we wanted, right? But not in the way that we expected it to come. Perhaps something had to be cleared off our plates for the thing that we really wanted to come in. So to study that, right? And to study perhaps embracing the shadow. How to spiritual alchemy. There's all sorts of stuff there. Study the archetypes. Study where you are right now. Perfect thing to do during a retrograde if no immediate life-changing decision is required, because it's in the mind here, right? It's this, well, the thing about the card of the Lovers, it's a life-changing decision. So yeah, even if it is falling in love with somebody, it's balancing the head and the heart with the throat to make the wisest, most loving, most powerful choice. Thankfully, the angels are saying, will you just meditate on it? This has been a theme, not just the card of meditation. Yes, that's come up. But slow it down. Will you just slow it down? That's what retrogrades are for. Slow it down. Meditate, contemplate on this life-changing decision. Let the heart have its full say, and let the mind have its full say. And particularly, it feels like the heart's really going to have its full say in your position of water here, because it feels like the mind can often go on and on and on and on and on. So this might not be so much the meditation of close your eyes and follow your breath and quiet the mind and visualize and all that stuff, as it might be more of the contemplation of taking the subject at hand here, whatever it is that you want. And remember, this could be a friendship relationship too that you're making a decision about, but to really address those fears and allow that decision, every chakra, to have its voice so they are all heard. So that emotionally, all the pieces of the puzzle are on the table, and there is at least an opportunity for mental resolution of the emotions going on. Maybe you understand it in a different way. Maybe the emotions flood through you, and then the eyes are cleared, right? Hence removing some of the blocks of fear. Sometimes feeling the fear like the inner child. It's okay to be afraid of that, honey. I get it. It's like, well, I love you no matter what happens, my sweet child of my heart. Even if there is loss, I'm here. I will love you no matter what. Now, that may be cold comfort, but it can bring love into that, and the muscles, the emotional muscles that have atrophied might begin to move. And then really being friendly, opening up your intuitive field. This retrograde really is helping you in a great way tune to the voice of your own soul through your intuition. So what's the angels got to say about this resolution here? Children, it's the inner child. It's totally the inner child. I mean, unless there are literal physical children going on here, it's the child archetype, or the inner child, the child of the heart, having its resolution, having its voice heard. Everything from its innocence and its childlike joy to its impertinent, terrified, childish tantrum behavior, and everything in between, right? Letting all of those thoughts, all of those emotions be heard within that child, which is going to really, really bring you into balance. And if you get that, this is all about just getting balanced. Right, getting balanced in my emotions here, really learning, studying from the fears and the things that oppress me, or at least I fear are oppressing me. Break chains of illusion and set all things to right, reveal what has been hidden and bring the truth to light. That's my devil card spell, right? Because I get there are chains that bind us, but I'll never forget it. This is like 30 years ago. I used to smoke. I quit a couple of months ago. But they said to me, the chains of fear are chains of smoke. They appear incredibly real, but you can move right through them if you challenge them. It's a lot easier said than done. It takes balance. It takes guts. It takes skill and bravery to grab that bull by the horns. So what are the angels talking about? Trust that you will find balance through trust of your spirit, trust of your soul, trust of your intuition, but little by little by little. No great, big, huge movements, decisions necessary right now until you can trust your own balance of emotions, balance of head and heart, so that you can make the wisest mental decision that you can make in accordance with the friendliness of your intuition, your own divine feminine, learning from the lessons of fear, and really by hearing that child, right? Not that the child drives the show, drives the car, but if that child doesn't get its voice heard, it builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up. We have a moment of unconsciousness, it takes over, and we do toxic shit. We become childish. We've seen it happen. Ever been to a mall during the holidays? Yeah. You've seen it. You've seen adults act like childish children, not childlike. The Dalai Lama is childlike. Pee Wee Herman is childish. No shade on Pee Wee. I love Pee Wee, though. Okay, we are going to get your clarifiers, if you will. The first one of 3, so we will have a full 13 cards on the table from the Ascended Masters. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. There are 4 suits: the Problem, the Luck, the Healing, and the Grace suit. Let's see what we get. Nice deep breath. Still point. My Ascended Masters, there you are. Please, just one card in clarity for this Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Mercury retrograde for February to March 2020. Please, a piece of the problem that needs to be looked at in the retrograde, dealt with. A piece of luck that we can carry with, a piece of grace that we can be aware of, tune to, or a piece of healing that can propel us forward, please. Leo Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury Retrograde, February, March 2020. Manipulation. Now, this isn't the manipulation of the mind, this isn't hypnosis, this isn't any of that. This is literally pulling strings. Now, is someone pulling your strings? Maybe fear can sometimes do that, right? You're pulling your own strings because of your own fear, but letting someone else sort of have some control and some manipulation. Are you the one being the manipulator? You may not know at this point, but this is something that you might not realize. You have manipulated yourself, been manipulative, or been manipulated as you pull back and look at this. So if you have any kind of weird feeling about some of your friendships, I think that child inside of you is gonna say, I don't feel safe around them. I get a weird feeling. Now imagine if we taught our children to trust that feeling. Right? No, do what we tell you to do. At least that's how I was raised, right? No, something feels off. If something feels off, something's off, sweetheart. I love you. I'm here to protect you. No one might have been able to do that for you as a child, but you can do that for the child of your own heart, your own inner child. No shit. If it says, not just that it's scared, but something feels weird, I feel like I'm being manipulated. Now, if it's the childish manipulating you, right, the shadow possessing you, then really you need to learn what's going on down there, that your shadow is showing you what needs more love within you, but it doesn't mean it gets to possess you, drive, and make fucked up choices and decisions. Because remember, choices and decisions are on the table here. So life-changing decisions. It's the lover's card. It's not like coffee, tea, or milk. It's about who do I want to be kind of level of stuff, right? A change, right? The difference between buying a cup of coffee and growing coffee beans and becoming a coffee farmer, right? Life changer. So manipulation. Be aware of that. That's a good keynote. That's a good thing to keep an eye out for. Particularly, like I said, how people drive themselves crazy during Mercury retrograde. About Mercury retrograde, it's like they're pulling their own strings in a way that doesn't serve, right? Instead of pulling your strings in a way of saying, all right, all of this is to help me on some level. I'll eventually get it, probably when Mercury goes direct or soon after. But for now, let me just chill the fuck out, right? Let me not be so freaked out. Let me learn from this, the study card. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved, mine included. I love him. He's great. Breathe. Still point. Oh, the higher self collective. The higher selves of all involved, mine included, please. A whisper of love for us. This Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Mercury sign during this Mercury retrograde from February to March 2020. Please, a piece of your higher self, divine guidance and grace for this Mercury retrograde. Thank you, higher selves of all involved. I love them. What we got? Love who you are. Which, love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. Thank you, I concur. Lovely. I mean, it really is. We're talking about some self-love here. That's going to bring you into balance. And certainly, whatever decision that has to be made, you can certainly ask the question, what would love do? What's the loving thing? What's the healthy thing? What's the balanced thing? Take all of that into consideration. But again, don't forget to bring that love to that child and say, honey, I get you're afraid. I love you even though you're afraid. It's not that I don't care you're afraid, but I'm not here to change you. I'm not here to heal you. I'm here to love you and hear you and hold you through this because I love you so much. Now, a lot of people have said I love you to that child that then did really toxic shit, sometimes just disappeared. So don't be surprised if you're not feeling that right away. It's a smart kid you got in there. It's got their own emotional intelligence. It's like when your bank account is in arrears, right, is running a little in the red, you have to keep putting some deposits in before you feel it and it goes into the black. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving all the wonderful things that life has to offer. Yes, it's true, but that's true for everybody. It's like not just you, right? Not just me. We all are that because we are all one. We are the quantum singularity appearing as many. So let's get you your last card down here, the healing mantra that should ferry you through this Mercury retrograde. That's why I do say check your other signs, even if you got to skip to the end. Just get the mantra. Do it! Nice deep breath. Let's ask the Ascended Masters. Oh, I did the breath wrong. I don't care. still point. My Ascended Masters, please, a healing mantra card, just one, for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs for this Mercury retrograde for February to March 2020, please. Some interesting stuff going on here with that that card of the devil in the earth position with study. So, you know, we need some healing on that. And we see that there's some healing going on here with that inner child, that resolution, that Ten of Blades. That we have to trust the process of balance, or find our balance through trust. Understanding that there's a manipulation, and usually that word manipulation is neutral. Like, you know, you feel a little crampy, you do some yoga, right? You feel dehydrated, you drink some water. All of that's manipulation, right? You see trouble in the world, you send prayer, you send light, you send love. So a little like that, because that's a problem suit there, and you're the one, Ascended Masters, who gave us that one. So please, a healing mantra for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for Mercury retrograde. The best healing mantra ever for us for a Mercury retrograde, February to March 2020. And here we are. Okay. They made me work for that one. I'm glad to. Now, two sides of the card, obviously. One has the mantra itself, the other the name of the mantra. I will use the name of the mantra to look it up in the book, because it's a teeny tiny little thing he wrote in here, and Matt Kahn's a fucking genius, just saying. Exploring unity consciousness. I am one eternal light, appearing as all. That's why I said, of course, you know, you're a divine and wonderful person, deserving all the wonderful things life has to offer, but we all are. We're all manifestations of the quantum, of the one, of the divine singularity. I am one eternal light, appearing as all. Now, what's fun about that is it's exploring unity consciousness. Oh, kitties, are you ripping shit up? Hold on one second, please. Cats, what are you gonna do? My boys are boys. They're like, what's this? I'm bored. They start like scratching shit. I'm like, what are you doing? Because usually they sleep during the day while I'm doing this. Oh, well, what are you gonna do? You work, kids. It never ends, motherhood. Exploring unity consciousness, though, what a freaking genius card to get here. Considering this thing of friendship, this study, let's just read the card. It's really good. It's exploring unity consciousness, right? Just to think that's a whole level of awareness. Unity consciousness, fifth dimensional awareness. Let's do this. Breathe. Then I'll get you your overview. Exploring unity consciousness. I am one eternal light, appearing as all. When unity consciousness is explored, you are able to sense a connection that unites all hearts, no matter how unique each person seems to be. In unity, there is a willingness to accept the differences that make each of us unique, while embracing the greater cosmic web of interconnectivity through all time and space. Okay. In exploring unity consciousness, you are not a person in search of the light. You are the light dressed up as a person along your soul's journey. Okay, we get that. We are the singularity appearing as many, the one appearing as infinite multiplicity. This mantra is ideal for amplifying presence, your own spiritual presence, grounding your energy, and deepening meditation. Now, what's interesting about that is you've got the meditation card, and yes, there's perhaps some inner child meditation stuff going on there, but do know, in the fifth dimensional principle of healing, as we heal, all heal. So as the child of your heart heals even just a little bit, it heals every inner child and every heart everywhere a little bit. That's why we all can do our part here. We all play our role in the healing of the world, in the bringing of heaven to earth, or the alchemizing of lead to gold, the shadow to light, however you want to language that for yourself. But certainly here in this reading, that's an interesting counterpoint, exploring unity consciousness, considering there's a decision to be made here, there's fear to deal with, and manipulation. So let's do the overview. Usually other things pop out. Ready? Again, magic, clap. We start us off with the card of the moon in the fire position, Yemaya. Definitely about that emotional waves as well as a deeper intuition, that sometimes the intuitive path is just obvious. It appears under our feet, just like standing in moonlight at the waterside. The silver path right under our feet at all times. But with that card of friendship, that can mean, you know, really about being more friendly. That's what we want, is to have a more friendly relationship with the intuition, our emotions, or that we need to feel something out here in regards to our friendship patterned relationships. Perhaps there is some manipulation going on. It is right next to the manipulation card. And that there are some fears here in the Earth position that we need to address and look at, but we need to study them. Maybe not so much in the intellectual sense of tracing it back to a past life. I mean, sometimes that's helpful, sometimes it's not. But ultimately, it's like, what is this fear teaching me? Why am I afraid of this? What am I afraid of? Why am I afraid of it? And why am I afraid of that? Like, keep going, studying it. I mean, it's really easy to go down a rabbit hole and never emerge from that. So really to make sure that you are doing it with trust and balance, that there's something spiritual here, that there is a chain to be released, an oppression to be grown through and thrown off, transmuted, burned through, so to speak. And in the mental position here, we've got a life-changing decision, which is probably about that oppression one way or the other, but to contemplate it, to meditate it, to work that decision down through every chakra, to hear every voice. Particularly if you're looking for the gut feeling, you really want to feel it in the fire position of what to do, maybe the friendly way through this for yourself and for others. Listen to the innocent child within, the child of your heart. Do the inner child work. There is emotional resolution there through that 10 of blades, all the pieces of the puzzle hitting the table and a larger picture being seen, all through the lens of trust in your balance, and balancing trust with, you know, that could even say, who do you trust, who do you not trust? That's a juggling act here with this card of manipulation. There's a lot that you could accomplish here by pulling back and seeing this from the retrograde point of view of bringing balance through who you can trust in your life, really feeling that out intuitively and making some contemplative, loving, wise, powerful decisions, keeping in mind that you can be exploring unity consciousness with the mantra, I am one eternal light appearing as all. That if I am being manipulated or being manipulative of myself, then it's me manipulating me anyway. Where is the lesson in all of that fear? Because who manipulates unless there's a fear somewhere going on here? So deal with the fear. You won't be able to be as easily manipulated or more willing to manipulate yourself or others, because you will get on some level that you are one eternal light, as we all are, appearing as all. Well, there's a lot to consider there, my Leos. No shit. I mean, really, I'm going to probably rewatch this one myself as I go through retrogrades, which is a good idea. Save it to your watch later file, some of these, because it's not like an entire month, which those are good too to maybe watch, you know, something for the month of February. But this is a very specific time frame. And don't forget that the Mercury goes direct on the full moon in Virgo, so there's something about that I can't quite put my finger on, but I could feel it, right? So let me give you the blessing, right? May the Leo collective, myself included, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs be blessed with all that we need, the golden light, the golden grace that we need for this Mercury retrograde February, March 2020, that we may find our trust and balance, that we may resolve that emotional stuff with the inner child, that we may find friendships with our own intuition and have our own intuition guide us into healthier friendships. If in case we are being manipulative, we will keep an eye out for that manipulation and be blessed through the contemplation, the meditation of this life decisions that we have to make this Mercury retrograde, while studying how the fear is teaching us what the fear is teaching us, loving who we are, because like everyone else on the planet, we are divine and wonderful people deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer, and we will experience that a heck of a lot more if we work the mantra of exploring unity consciousness. I am one eternal light appearing as all. May we be blessed with all of this, my angels, my gods, my goddesses, my masters, and the higher selves of all involved for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching, my Leos. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of info here. You might want to watch this puppy back. There's a lot. This kitty back. Until then, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of this Mercury retrograde, my darlings. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed be.